¿Qué pasa, Mirazo? This is Mario from the South Side. We are at South by Southwest, the Artist Lounge with DAWA Studios. Today I'm sitting with the lovely Shilah, a good friend of the pod. She's been with us since we started the pod, basically. She's one of our very first guests, first female guests, I think.
I was about to say
And,
it. If you didn't say it. I was
yeah.
like,
And luckily, we've had a friendship outside of the podcast and have been able to keep working and obviously each growing, more so her than us. But how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm tired. I'm a little burnt out. I
Yeah.
don't do South by so much this year, but the little that I do,
Yeah.
it weighs a lot. I'm Tobijito, yeah.
Bro, for real. I was like, Mario texted me earlier. He's like, are you ready downtown? I said, nah, I'm taking a nap.
I thought you'd be out here, so I was like, okay, like that way I could just have you pull up when I pull up. I was like, nope, like
no, I was like, no, you told me when you're pulling up because I'm gonna stay on my couch.
Yeah, and I was like, man. Last night I stayed out late. Saw the Jadakiss show. It was cool. It was fun, but
You saw what?
Jadakiss, the rapper.
Jadakiss. Oh, I don't
And
think
so-
of them.
Now when it hits like 11, I'm like yawning, getting sleepy, just trying to fight through it, power through it. And I was like, man, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Nah, bro. I got home at like midnight last night. I went to go see Short and Eslavon Armado.
Okay, yeah.
And Bo Bundy at the Belmont for that showcase thing.
I showed up last minute and I caught the last bit of Bo Bundy's set.
Dang, I left before Bo Bundy even got on.
Yeah, whenever he went on, it was already there. There was not a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was a cool show, and I would try to catch it, but that's when I was at Empire.
Yeah, no, he's dope, and him and Short Life have a song together that's like
I saw them perform it. It was pretty
Yeah,
cool. I
yeah.
met Short Life for the first time the other night when we were at the after party on Saturday.
Okay.
Introduced myself, I talked to him. I was like, hey, Sheila put me on to your music. I
Yeah.
fuck with what you do. Gave me his number, and I was like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
have him and his brother, because from what you told me, they're doing a lot, and like
Yeah.
their studio's cool and whatnot.
You should
And I
definitely
like his
interview
music.
them. Yeah, his music's
Yeah.
dope. I'm trying to put him on with everybody that I know because I feel like they're gonna be the next big Latin act that comes out
Yeah.
of Austin.
And I feel like you have a one of the connections that like a lot of us don't. And when I say a lot of us, I mean like the Mexicanos, the Hispanics in the city that we don't have. I have somewhat of an idea of all the Latin artists in Austin, but I feel like you have like a direct connect to because you work with these people.
Yeah.
You work with a lot of Latinos and a lot of the groups, and every time that we talk, you always introducing me to somebody else, and that's what I admire about it, because even not right now when you're in Miami, not Florida, you're still connected with these people and these artists,
For sure.
and when you come back in town, obviously you get to work with them. So
Yeah.
how has that been, as far as your journey goes, connecting with new artists that come out and stuff like that?
Connecting with new artists here. I mean, I always have my ear to the ground when it comes to Latin artists because I want to collaborate with as many Latin artists as I can because
Yeah.
I make Latin R&B,
It's only
Latin
right.
pop music, and it's kind of hard to find Latin artists that are out here that are not doing like Tejano music or
Yeah.
like regional,
typical.
norteño, which is great. I mean, I love cumbia, I love all that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's just not what I do.
We can do
So-
more than that.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I moved to Miami. So anytime I'm back or whenever somebody new is coming out here in Austin, I'm definitely like open and happy to work with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as I got back to town this week, like Par and I had already been talking, and he's like,
Yeah.
"All right, bet we're gonna get lock in studio dates this day, because every studio in Austin fills up around South by.
Oh, yeah, for
like,
sure.
all the time." So I called him like I don't know 2-3 weeks ago, and I was like, "All right, this is what we gotta do." Blah blah blah. So yeah, we're working on a few more songs together, hopefully for the next album, and I think it's really good. I really think that they're both very talented, and they're so young.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Short's
Definitely
like 21,
motivated.
going on 22.
And I feel like Short too, like within the time frame that you put me on, because I think you introduced me, you told me about him maybe about a year ago, and then that time frame up until now, he's like built up an audience and a fan base, and he's
Yeah.
been doing a lot of work, so it's been really cool,
Yeah, that's what I told him. He's like, "I don't think I really have a big enough fan base yet," and I'm like, "Bro."
His shit is popping. Like he's in
Oh,
that
like-
right alley, like at that right lane that he's like he's killing it,
Yeah, I'm like, "You got it. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. Just give it time. Like, you have the right eyes on you. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like, you're good." And so they're both been really great to work with. Super humble guys. They're from Monterrey.
Yeah.
Like, just dope, killing it. 21, 23, owning their own studio.
Young,
like,
yeah, they're young.
that's
as hell.
crazy,
Yeah.
And downtown, like on the east side of Austin, like
That's big.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's not something.
So I'm really proud of them. And then I'm about to go see Grace tonight,
Yeah.
who's also part Latina.
Somebody else you put me on to.
Yeah. I was like, for those of you that don't know, Grace Sorensen, she sang backup for me at ACL in 2021. And she also has like a dance background. And we just got really close that whole year with all the rehearsals that we did. And I'm super proud of like everything that she's done since then. I know that as artists, like all of us, we're always questioning what we're doing, or if we're on the right path, or if we're being our most authentic self and like honoring our sound. And I think that she's learning and growing and handling everything beautifully for her age as well, because she just turned 20.
Yeah, she's young, dude. She's a little baby.
You know, and like, man, it makes me like, I'm so proud that like we had people who kind of paved the way for us, and then that we're now able as the older generation.
Level, yeah.
we're not old, but like
not yet,
a little bit older than these next kids. We're able to like kind of look out for them more,
for sure,
and put them on faster.
Yeah,
you know.
And I feel like that's exactly what I was gonna say. That you're on that level, sort of like on a mentorship type status, because all these new artists. I mean, everybody. Even who was it? Angel Scene Throne that you put me on.
Oh, like, she's dope.
Everybody you showed me that you work with is all young and up and coming. They're like all popping. They're all like, their shit is hot, you know. And it's cool because that just shows more why your background and with your word, your ear, it speaks for itself, because you don't just work with anybody. That's what I've told all of them too, is like Shilah just doesn't just work with whoever just for whatever reason. Like if she's working with you or she's talking to you, that's for a reason, you know. Like she has an ear for this stuff, and so it's always cool to see that. And then also seeing you expand up to like going to Miami. How has it been at this point now? How long have you been living in Miami now? I
just had my year anniversary.
Okay.
In Miami.
And what has the journey been like? Have you been able to accomplish what you've been, or have been reaching to the goals that you've been set for?
I think I've done some of them. I don't give myself enough credit a lot of the times, but like looking back, and when you frame it that way, this last year I was able to join the Recording Academy. And that was like a really proud moment for me. I also was listed as one of Billboard's like top Latin artists to watch, which was crazy.
That was awesome.
I went to like Billboard Latin Music Week and just met a bunch of people, and the writers for the magazine were like scouting out artists. And so then like the week after, I just got this notification, and I was like, what the fuck?
That shit was crazy. I said, like, damn.
It was crazy.
She's too hot for the block now.
I know. But that was cool. That was really like, it's validating, but it's also like poof, you know, like it happens, and then it's like, okay, what do you do now? Like, what do you do with that?
Like,
you
can't
prepared
live off
for
that high. You have to like continue it.
And I feel like that's just the way the entertainment industry is, you know. It's like you feel validated one day, and then the next day you're questioning your entire life.
I mean, I feel like that's how a lot of people get caught up, because like they have that either one hit wonder, or they have that one moment of appraisal by somebody big, or get a lot of attention, and then after that they don't follow through with it or keep going along, and that's where it kind of falls apart, you know. And you got to kind of remember to, all right, that's done, let me keep going for the next goal, let me go higher than this, like what's next, you know.
Exactly. So I think it's just about like recognizing that there are seasons in your career, and like even throughout the year, right? Like I always get like a little bit depressed during the wintertime because nothing's going on with shows or anything, and I'm super into like performing live. I'm from Austin, you know. And I realized that like Miami, it's not the same live music scene at all as Austin. That it's very DJ centric, which is cool for DJs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then like in terms of venues, here we have a lot of like venues that are club theater level, you know, small coffee shops, all the way up to amphitheaters, arenas, whatever. We have it all. Over there, it's like coffee shop, you're doing like an open mic, or you're performing at the Hard Rock. And I've told so many people this, because it's like when I first moved over there, I was going downtown and I was like, hey, where can I perform? Like, I'm an artist, la la la. And they were like, oh, there's an open mic night like on Thursday. And at first, like, my feelings were so hurt, because I was like,
how dare you disrespect me like that?
I was like, I don't think you understand.
Right? Like, no.
Like, I do this. And it was real. It's been a humbling experience
Yeah.
because you're starting all over again from scratch, and
Well,
like,
in a sense, you're kind of going from the little pond that is Austin, and you've conquered everything. You've done it all. And I was mentioning it to the last person I was talking with, like, yeah, artists here in Austin can go to perform every venue, do every South by, do every ACL. But after that, like, what's next? Like, you jump into a bigger ocean, and I feel like that's the level you're at. It's gonna be humbling because you're realizing, okay, like it's an ocean. It's not that little pond anymore that you're easily conquered. Like now there's bigger heights to reach, and like anywhere else, you're gonna start from the bottom, but on a whole different level. And I think that's where the whole like questioning yourself comes from, because like I've had that experience in a sense where you're like, okay, like I did a lot of cool things, but then like, why am I not doing that?
Yeah.
So I definitely get it. But how did you end up going to that open mic?
Yeah, I've actually done a couple open mics.
Yeah, how has that been? What's the feedback been like?
It's been fun because people don't necessarily, well, on both sides, right? So it's been fun, one, because sometimes people don't necessarily expect open mic nights to have good artists.
Yeah.
And so it's fun, like, surprising people. But then on the other hand, like, there are a ton of really, really talented artists in Miami.
Oh, wow.
And there's like a jazz scene there that you never would have guessed was there. There's like the pop urbano scene that's there, the reggaeton scene, right?
Damn.
It's huge there. But like, there's also this movement going on of artists who are more like Latin indie or like rock en español, cosas así, porque they are so tired of trying to be put in a box by the industry that's urbano and reggaeton.
Yeah, and I feel like that's definitely, this is a conversation I had with Jay yesterday, because we were at this event where Cuco was at. He was doing the meet and greet.
I heard that was dope.
And I had Jay Soulja and Napalm, which they're black, they're not Mexican, they're not Hispanic or anything. So they're like, who's this guy? Like, what? Why is there a long ass fucking line to meet him? And I was like, I guess I realized it. I was like, oh, they don't know who he is, because he is his audience is all Hispanics. You have a bunch of young kids, a bunch of older. I've heard about Cuco for like the last 4 or 5 years. I don't know who he is,
he's been around for a minute.
Yeah, but he like kind of he kind of paved the way for like this new little genre, not little genre, but this different style that's like experimental,
like Latin indie.
Yeah, which like because you don't want to keep doing the same. You don't want to do corridos. You don't want to do reggaeton. You don't want to do the standard that they kind of put on us. So he went and created his own style. Now you have all these other bands, like you have Luna, you have Ariel, you have all these other people that are like kind of on that same wave, but like it gives the freedom to want to explore your sounds as a Hispanic person, Mexican, whatever you are,
For sure.
And I feel like that for the longest could be our biggest struggle for the longest, because we get, like you said, we get pushed into this box where it's like, if you're not making this type of music, we're not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
But now I feel like it's changing,
I think slowly it's changing. I think
Yeah.
it depends on the genre that you're in. Luna's been killing it. Short Life does that really well. It's one of the reasons I admire him, or in both of them. I think I've heard from a lot of my like Tejano friends that market in particular is very like stiff and like unwavering, and they're not open to change. And it's just like, man,
just old heads.
It's just a bunch of old Mexicans
Yeah,
that they want to do the same thing every single day, and they want to eat the same thing every single day.
It's like the old people don't want to change.
Yeah, and I'm like, y'all need to open up, because I mean, Mexico is the biggest market in Latin America.
Yeah.
It has been, it always has been, it always will be,
Yeah,
and it's just so many people, and it's like, if we're not open to change, how are we going to continue to grow and win and continue to have these chart-topping artists? I mean, this year, Mexico did great. Like, Mexicanos at the Billboard Awards, at like Latin Grammys, we took home
Killed
tons.
that shit.
Yeah, I was like, thank you. Thank you. But I mean, that's awesome. I'm glad that we're getting more recognition for that. But at the same time, it's like, we do need to be more open-minded about like accepting these new genres, because a lot of us, even if we didn't grow up here, we grew up with those like pop punk influences of like Paramore.
We got a taste of other stuff.
Yeah.
And then like at some point, how do you not expect us to start taking that influence and kind of put it into the music or the stuff that we create? Because it's cool to listen to corridos and banda and all that stuff. But
that'll
like,
always be home,
Yeah, it's gonna be like it's nostalgic, but you take a listen to what Ariel's doing with Los Kid Brothers, Short Life, any of them, Luna Luna,
Mhm.
like they have a taste of those oldies. Like you could hear some of like the Merario style or like
Mhm.
those bookies into
Mhm.
that shit, you know.
Mhm.
And then that's what's really really cool about it. Like, and that's why I admire like that we have that lane now, you know,
Mhm.
and it's been changing and evolving and. It's gonna be. I mean, you have Bad Bunny already as the top leading Latin artist. You know
Mhm.
that already alone has already set the stage. So it's like, okay, at this point now, the lights
Oh
on a
yeah.
lot of the Latin artists. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know this, but people look to you like, all right, what are you gonna do?
Mhm.
Like, what do you have? Like, if that's the next big thing, that's the people got mad at me for saying this, but like this is generations Michael Jackson. Like, he's
Mhm.
big everywhere across the
Mhm.
whole world. Why should we look at you too? You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like
Or also, like, what's the excuse for you not succeeding? You
exactly.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know obviously I'm not going to come at you with, like, oh, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, because we don't.
No, yeah, money changes everything.
No, but in terms of, like, you have access to the tools, you have access to the internet, you have access to, like, free, production programs, like Logic, GarageBand. You can learn anything on YouTube.
It's very easy nowadays.
Yeah, it's
Very
if you
easy.
put your mind to something, like, you can do it, or if you put yourself out there, you can meet people who know how to do it and who want to help you. Like, it's just a matter of, like, taking baby steps. You don't have to do the
Yeah.
whole staircase at once.
Yeah, you don't have to rush it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have a plan and execute it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you do it fast or slow. You know, as long as you go at your own pace and whatever you're comfortable with. Obviously, don't be scared of taking next steps, but
Yeah,
move
you're
forward.
always gonna be a little bit scared,
Yeah.
but that's
part of it.
like the sign that you're moving forward.
Yeah,
You're getting
yeah.
out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's necessary for change. But yeah, I think certain genres are a little more rigid than others. But overall, I think there hasn't been a better time to be a Latin artist.
Yeah. And I love to see it. I'm definitely. I'm grateful to be a part of the experience to witness it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You say you are working on an album with when you came to record. Is there something that you have in the works that's coming soon, or is it still like at the early stages?
Definitely still at the early stages.
Okay.
I just released an EP, like a 5-song
This
EP.
is like in November,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called Corazón Coraza, and that was released recently. So I'm kind of letting that ride out while I work on the next album,
Okay.
and maybe I'll drop a few singles here and there.
Yeah.
But I want to be very intentional with this next album,
Yeah.
and kind of leave my mark with it more. It's a sophomore album,
It's your baby.
yeah, I think there's a little bit more pressure, but also more experience writing on a sophomore album.
Yeah, you've done a lot since the last
Mhm.
project, so you're already at a different level, obviously.
Yeah, I think it'll be more cohesive. I want
Yeah.
it to be more complex. I want it to be reflective of my roots, the same way that the Shilah was reflective of
Yeah.
my roots. I just learned a lot and lived a lot since then, and I need to sit down and sift through everything and see what I
Yeah.
want to talk about, what I want to say.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I was listening. I've been listening to the EP you dropped, and I like it because it's like it's a comfortable space where you just kind of get in your bag. Like
Yeah.
there's no like limits on anything. You kind of just go whichever direction. It's a whole vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely a whole vibe, and I like it.
Thank
Like,
you. I appreciate that.
Caught myself singing stuff. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
like it's catchy. It's catchy. You know, so I like it. And I've always been a fan, obviously, of the music. So
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what more you have.
Yeah, I like that project because it's a short, it's very cohesive. It's one track just goes right
That's
into the
why
next.
EPs are special. People forget about EPs.
Yeah.
Like, you need to do something in the meantime to have people entertained while you work on this
Yeah.
bigger project that you're gonna put your all into. You know.
Exactly.
But so that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing, man. Just meeting more people in Miami, working at this, a little studio, getting to know a couple different studios down there, meeting more producers, writers, all of that. Which has been really fun because I've written all my own stuff up until this point, and I haven't really collaborated with any songwriters here, and I think that was because I was always looking to do Spanish, and
Yeah.
I didn't know
It's a
many.
rarity.
Yeah, I didn't know many Spanish songwriters here in Austin. So
I
yeah.
feel like now there's a lane that needs to be filled. So
Yeah.
like anybody needs music to
Now there's
write
more.
for. There you go. You know.
Mhm. And that's
So-
why I like hanging out with the guys at Campin Studios, because there's always creatives coming in and out. It's all like Latino owned, and I mean, if you lose inspiration in the studio, you can walk down to the vintage shop that they have there. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just a vibe. But yeah, that's all to say. I've been meeting a great ton of people in Miami, and there's so many different cultures there that are like not just Mexican. And you know,
Yeah.
I'm part Nicaraguan too, so
Yeah.
I have the little clique of Nicaraguans over there, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of crazy.
They be having some good Cuban sandwiches out there. Or what?
Yo, I honestly, they do. I just
Okay.
am not a fan of like Cuban sandwiches
What?
that much. No.
It has to be made right. Like I've had a couple of them here and there that are, Then I've had
Yeah.
a couple other in particular that were like fucking amazing. You know?
I just don't think I don't like the sandwich. Like
No?
in general, I've
You
had
don't
good
like
ones,
tortas,
bad
huh?
ones. I love tortas, like Mexican tortas. I love tortas.
But
Don't
not
get
the
me wrong.
Cubans.
Don't get it twisted. But I like their coffee.
Yeah.
Cuban coffee.
Oh, it's strong as shit. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
crack, dude. It's so good. It's I'm like,
It's a lot.
all right, I gotta get some stuff done today. Let's go. And then I have my little, ¿cómo se llama? The little like coffee maker where it's like the silver thing. You put the water and then you put the coffee in the little
Oh
thing.
yeah, the little espresso
Yeah,
thingy.
and then you put
Yeah, I
it on
have
the
one of those too,
stove.
but I don't use that shit.
I like, they don't have a regular coffee maker. Like I don't have a regular coffee maker over there at my house. So that's what I've been using.
Oh god.
And it's like every morning, dude. It's
Well,
good though. I love it. I love the
yeah.
coffee over there and all the different cultures. There's Dominicanos,
So diverse.
Colombianos, like
Yeah.
Venezolanos, hella Cubans,
Man.
bunch, and it's
I
cool
have
to see
to
how
come.
everybody like clicks up
Yeah.
and supports each
I've
other.
never been to Miami in particular, so I have to be soon. So
Yeah, you're telling me you were
Yeah.
thinking about going soon, no?
yeah, I want to. So I have to plan. I have to save a lot of money for that. So
Yeah, you gotta go.
But I mean, like, I'm glad that you're still making trips back to Austin, and as always, like, I'm glad that you took the time out to kind of sit down with me. And
Of course.
you know, you're not too big yet just for to sit
Ay,
down with
Dios.
Eddie K. You know.
No, thank you for
So,
sitting down with me. I appreciate it.
It's always fun. We'll have to plan another one in the future where we have more time, and maybe in Florida. I'm sorry, Miami or here, and we could talk about how Caliuchis and Sade is the same. But I appreciate
So
you
he made
nonetheless.
this tweet. So he made. Thank you for reminding me because I almost forgot
Yeah.
to call you out. He made this tweet that Kali Uchis and Sade had the same voice, and I was like,
This joke went over everybody's head, but nonetheless, I'll take it. I don't care. Like it, I like to-
it was a joke.
It was,
it was
and
a joke.
I knew it was gonna make people upset, so I did it on purpose. So
Okay.
that's what people didn't understand.
You
I was like,
see-
yeah, you can talk all this shit. I don't care.
Whatever.
You know?
I was like, I know he's a big enough music head to know that that's not true. I was like, I don't know.
Everybody was
what's going on
upset,
here.
but
You're trying to stir the pot, bro.
for those that are tuned in, go ahead and give your socials and where they can find you and your music.
Okay. Shilah Music everywhere. SHIELA Music, not E before I before E. On Instagram, Twitter, TikTok is Shilah Music Official. I'll be doing a lot of wild stuff on TikTok, so don't hold me accountable for anything I do there.
Don't get scared away.
But yeah, you can find me, DM me, hit me up, and come to the show. We have an official showcase on Saturday at the Sheraton Backyard from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. It's an all Latin lineup. It was actually my first opportunity producing my own showcase.
Really?
This year, yeah.
Oh shit.
So I was like, oh, book all my friends, and
Yeah,
there's gonna
we'll-
be
yeah,
a
we'll
Latin
be there
showcase.
for sure then.
Yeah,
Hell
so I'm
yeah.
excited.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. I'm Mario from the Southside. This is IDK. That's perfect. We're at DAWA Studios at the Artist Lounge. I'm with,
Shilah.
and we're out.
Bye.